They said her future was already decided before she even understood what it meant. In a quiet village where no one ever said no, one girl did, and that single word changed everything. But no one was ready for what came next.
Baba, Mama, I want to go to school. I don't want to marry.
This has already been decided.
Your husband will send you to school.
The same promise they gave Zainab. But Zainab...
Enough! Enough! Enough!
Baba, I am sorry. I cannot do this. I don't want to marry now.
What are you saying?
Baba, please. I want to go to school. I want to learn. I want to become a lawyer. I don't want to marry.
This girl you are looking at, she is 15 years old, and in a few hours, she will be forced to marry a man she did not choose. But listen carefully, because what it is about to do will shock her entire village and change her life forever. The last girl who went through this is now pregnant, weak, and broken. Everyone told her, "You will get used to it," but she never did. Tonight, this girl must decide, stay quiet or lose her life forever. And what she says next will either destroy her or set her free. The night was quiet, too quiet. Only the sound of Amina's breathing could be heard in the dark room. Her eyes were wide open. She could not sleep. Outside, women were already singing. Soft at first, then louder. Tomorrow, she would be married at just 15 years old. Amina sat up slowly on her mat. Sweat covered her face, even though the night air was cool. She whispered to herself, "Is this how my life ends? Before it even begins?" A tear rolled down her cheek, then another, then many. She hugged her knees tightly, and suddenly, she remembered Zainab. Long before Amina was born, two men sat under a big tree in a small village in northern Nigeria. Their names were Alhaji Musa and Alhaji Bello. They were not just friends, they were brothers by heart. They helped each other in everything. When one had food, the other ate. When one had money, the other used it. One evening, after sharing tea, Alhaji Musa laughed and said, "My friend, this friendship must never end." Alhaji Bello nodded. "Yes, never." Then Musa said something that changed everything. "Let us join our families. If I have a son, he will marry your daughter. If I have a daughter, she will marry your son." They both laughed happily. They shook hands, they agreed, but they did not think of the children. They did not think of the future. They did not think of Amina. Years passed. Children were born. Amina was born to Alhaji Musa. Zainab was born to Alhaji Bello. They grew up together like sisters. They played in the sand. They fetched water together. They laughed, ran, and shared secrets. Zainab was beautiful. She had bright eyes and a loud laugh. Amina loved her. But everything changed when Zainab turned 15. One day, Amina saw Zainab crying behind the house. "Zainab, what is wrong?" Amina asked. Zainab wiped her tears quickly. "Nothing." But it was not nothing. A few days later, Zainab was married. No more school. No more playing. No more laughter. The first time Amina visited Zainab after her marriage, she did not recognize her. Zainab sat quietly on the mat. Her face was dull. Her skin had lost its glow. Her eyes looked tired, like she had not slept for many nights. "Amina," she said weakly. Amina rushed to her. "Zainab, what happened to you?" Zainab forced a small smile. "I am fine." But she was not fine. Days turned into weeks. Weeks turned into months. Every time Amina visited, Zainab looked worse. She complained softly, "My body hurts. I am always tired. I don't understand this life." Amina listened. Amina watched. Amina remembered. But the adults, they said, marriage is not sweet at the beginning. You will adjust. This is how life is. And slowly, Zainab stopped complaining. Not because she was happy, but because she was tired. Back to the present. The singing outside became louder. Women were preparing. Food was cooking. The whole village was excited. But Amina felt like she was inside a cage. She stood up and walked slowly to the mirror. She looked at herself. She was beautiful, young, full of life, but fear was written all over her face. She whispered, I don't want to become like Zainab. That morning, Amina gathered courage. She went to her parents. Baba, Mama, I want to go to school. I don't want to marry now. Her father looked at her sternly. This has already been decided. Her mother added softly, your husband will send you to school. Amina's heart broke. That same promise. The same promise they gave Zainab. Amina spoke again, her voice shaking. But Zainab, her father cut her off. Enough. Silence filled the room. Amina lowered her head, but inside her, something was starting to wake up. The compound was full. Men sat in groups, women danced, children ran around happily. It was supposed to be a joyful day, but Amina felt like she was drowning. She sat quietly, dressed beautifully, gold jewelry on her neck, aso oke wrapped around her body. Everyone said she looked like a queen, but inside, she felt like a prisoner. Then suddenly, she saw someone at the gate. It was Zainab. Zainab walked slowly. Her steps were weak. Her stomach was big with pregnancy. Her face was pale. Her clothes were not neat. People greeted her happily. But Amina saw the truth. Zainab sat beside her and held her hand tightly. Her voice was low. Amina, listen to me. Amina's heart started beating fast. Zainab looked into her eyes. Don't be like me. Amina froze. Zainab continued. I wanted to speak, but I was scared. Now, I am living a life I did not choose. Tears filled her eyes. Please, if you have a chance, don't keep quiet. Amina's hands shook. Before she could reply, Zainab stood up slowly and walked away. That night, Amina could not sleep. She thought about everything, her dreams, her future, Zainab's pain, her parents' words, the promise made before she was born. She stood up, walked outside. The moon was bright, the village was quiet, and then she made a decision, a dangerous one, a bold one, a decision that could change everything. Sometimes the hardest thing to do is to speak. Sometimes the world will tell you to stay quiet, but silence can destroy a life. Amina was just 15, but she was beginning to understand something many adults did not. Not every tradition is right, not every promise should be kept, and not every silence is peace. Amina took a deep breath and took her first step into the unknown. Amina sat on a mat. Her heart was beating fast. The singing outside became louder. Tomorrow, I will be a wife, she whispered. Her voice was shaking. She closed her eyes tightly, but sleep did not come. Instead, memories came. Amina heard two voices in her heart. One voice said, be a good girl. Do what your parents say. Do not bring shame. The other voice said, this is your life. If you don't speak now, you may never speak again. Amina held her head. I am scared, she whispered. Then she remembered Zainab again. Her weak voice, her tired eyes, her words, don't be like me. Amina opened her eyes suddenly. No, she said softly. I don't want that life. The night was deep. Everyone was busy outside. No one was watching her. Amina stood up slowly. Her legs were shaking. She walked quietly to the door. She opened it a little. The cool night air touched her face. She looked outside. Women were singing, men were talking, nobody noticed her. Her heart said, run. But her mind said, Where will you go? She stopped. She stepped back. No, I cannot just run, she said. I need help. Amina covered her head with a scarf. She quietly walked behind the house. She moved fast but carefully. Her feet touched the soft sand. Her heart was beating loudly. She kept walking until she reached a small house at the edge of the village. She knocked softly. No answer. She knocked again. A voice came from inside. Who is there? Amina, she whispered. The door opened. It was Malam Musa. He looked surprised. Amina? At this time? Amina rushed inside. Tears filled her eyes. Malam, please help me. Malam Musa sat down slowly. He looked at her carefully. What is wrong, Amina? Amina could not hold it anymore. She cried, not small tears, big, heavy tears. I don't want to marry, she said. I want to go to school. I want to become a lawyer. She wiped her face. But my parents will not listen. They have already decided. Malam Musa was quiet for a moment. Then he asked, Are you ready to stand for yourself? Amina looked at him. Her eyes were still wet. I don't know how, but I am ready. Malam Musa nodded. Running away is not always the answer. He said. Amina looked confused. But staying quiet is also not the answer, he added. Amina listened carefully. You must speak, he said. Not with anger, but with truth. Amina took a deep breath. But what if they don't listen? Malam Musa smiled gently. Sometimes people don't listen at first, but truth has a way of opening hearts. Slowly, he continued. Amina, courage is not when you are not afraid. It is when you are afraid, but you still do what is right. Amina felt something warm in her chest, a small light, a small strength. Morning came. The sun rose slowly. The village became busy again. Today was the big day. Amina was dressed beautifully. Gold on her neck, fine clothes on her body. People smiled at her. But today, something was different. Amina was still afraid. But she was no longer quiet inside. Everyone gathered. The elders sat down. Her father was there. Her future husband's family was there. The air was full of joy. Then someone called, Bring the bride. Amina stood up. Her legs felt heavy. She walked slowly. Everyone looked at her. Her heart was beating fast. This was the moment. She remembered Malam Musa's words. Speak the truth. Amina stopped walking. The music slowly became quiet. People looked at her. Her father frowned. Amina, move, he said. But Amina did not move. She took a deep breath. Her hands were shaking. Then, she spoke. I am sorry. Her voice was soft, but the whole place became silent. I am sorry, she said again. I cannot do this. Gasps filled the air. People began to whisper. Her father stood up quickly. What are you saying? He asked angrily. Amina looked at him. Tears were in her eyes, but she did not look down. I want to go to school, she said. I want to learn. I want to become a lawyer. Her voice became stronger. I don't want to marry now. Silence. Deep silence. Sometimes one small voice can shake a whole crowd. Sometimes one brave step can change a life. Amina was just a young girl, but in that moment, she chose truth over fear. Her father's face became hard. The crowd waited. No one knew what would happen next. Amina stood there, her heart beating, her future hanging in the air. The whole place was silent. Even the drums stopped. Even the children stopped playing. All eyes were on Amina. Her heart was beating fast, but she did not run. She stood there. Her father, Alhaji Musa, stepped forward. His face was full of anger. Amina, he shouted. What kind of shame is this? People began to whisper. She is talking back, in front of elders. This girl is bold. Amina's hands were shaking. but she remembered something. If she becomes quiet now, her life may never be hers again. She took a deep breath. Baba, I am not trying to shame you, she said softly. I just want my life. An old man stood up. A girl does not speak like this, he said. This is not our way. Another woman said, she will learn in marriage. That is how we all learned. The voices grew louder. Yes, she must marry. This is already decided. She is just a child. Amina felt small, very small. But then, she remembered Zainab again. Amina turned slowly. Her eyes searched the crowd. Then she saw her, Zainab, standing at the back, quiet, weak, watching. Their eyes met. Zainab did not speak, but her eyes said everything. Pain, tiredness, regret. Amina's heart became strong again. She turned back to the crowd. Amina spoke louder now. If marriage is good, why is Zainab suffering? The whole place became quiet again. People turned to look at Zainab. Zainab looked down. No one spoke. Amina continued. She wanted to go to school too. You told her she will go after marriage, but she did not go. Her voice was shaking again, but she continued. She is sick. She is tired. She is not happy. Tears rolled down her face. Is that the life you want for me? Something changed in the air. Not big, but small. Some women looked at each other. Some men looked away. Amina's mother shifted where she sat. Her face was no longer strong. It was soft, thinking, feeling. For the first time, people were not just talking, they were listening. Amina's mother stood up slowly. Her eyes were wet. She looked at her daughter, then she looked at Zainab, then back at Amina. Amina, she said softly. Her voice was different now, not strong, not firm, but gentle. When I was your age, I also wanted to go to school. The crowd became quiet. No one expected that. But I did not speak, she continued. I was afraid. A tear fell from her eye. I don't want my daughter to live with that same pain. All eyes turned to Alhaji Musa. His face was still hard, but inside, something was moving. He looked at his friend, Alhaji Bello, the man he made the promise with years ago, under the tree. A simple promise, but now, that promise was standing in front of him, in the form of his daughter, crying, begging, wanting a different life. Alhaji Bello stood up slowly. He looked at his own daughter, Zainab, thin, weak, pregnant, quiet. His face changed. The smile he used to have was gone. Then he spoke slowly. My friend, maybe. He paused. Maybe for the first time in many years, he was not sure. Maybe we did not think well before we made that promise. The crowd became restless. This was new, very new. An elder asked, so what should be done now? Silence again. Everyone waited. Amina stood still, her future still hanging, not decided yet. But something had changed. A question had been born. Should a child be forced, or should a child be heard? Change does not always come like thunder. Sometimes it comes like a small voice, a question, a truth, a brave step, and slowly, hearts begin to open. Alhaji Musa looked at Amina again. This time, not just as a daughter, but as a human being, with dreams, with fear, with a future. He opened his mouth to speak. The whole village held their breath.
One voice stood up, and the whole village began to listen. But let me ask you, when a child speaks, should we silence them or should we hear them? Because Amina's story is just the beginning. A bigger challenge is coming, one that will test everything she has learned. Don't miss what happens next. Watch out for the next episode.